Now, how do you view the president, two-part question here, how do you view the president reversing on saying he's going to have the G7 conference at his hotel and resort, the Doral in Florida? Now he's saying he will not. And how do you deal with what is clearly in my opinion, empty 5-day ceasefire commitment from Turkey to Secretary Pompeo and Vice President Pence when we're seeing actual fighting going on?
You know, President Trump, perhaps inspired by Goebbels and the propagandists of the Third Reich, seemed to employ this tactic that the bigger the lie, the more obscene the injustice, the more dizzying the pace of this bizarre behavior, the less likely we are to be able to do something about it. And so I'm so grateful that not only is the House moving forward with impeachment, but that the public really began to rise up when the president sought to enrich himself by hosting the G7 summit at one of his own properties. This administration, rife with corruption, is finally coming to a reckoning with the public will of this country. So I think it's a good sign that he was caught, that he was stopped, that he can no longer normalize the behavior that we've seen so far. When it comes to Syria, this is just one of the most tragic, embarrassing moments in American history, to turn our backs on our allies. And Reverend Sharpton, I heard what you said earlier. These Kurdish fighters literally laid down their lives for this country and made it possible for us to send fewer U.S. service members over there to do the job of defeating ISIS and protecting our interests. So not only have we dishonored that commitment, we made it far less likely that we will be able to bring other potential allies in the future to our cause and to fight alongside U.S. service members. We've got to correct this injustice as soon as we can and reestablish the stature and standing and security of the United States on the global stage.
Did I hear you correctly say that perhaps he was influenced by Goebbels and the Third Reich in terms of telling a big lie? I just want to make sure that's what I heard you say.
That's right. There is so much that is resonant of the Third Reich in this administration, whether it is attempting to ban all people of one religion and saying that Muslims are somehow inherently dangerous or defective or disqualified. Outside of Nazi Germany, it's hard for me to find another modern democracy that had the audacity to say something like this. And then this idea from Goebbels and Hitler that the bigger the lie and the more often you repeat it, the more likely people are to believe it. That is Donald Trump to a T. The things that he says about immigrants committing crimes, being rapists, being predators and animals, seeking to dehumanize them. That's how we get them in cages. That's how we lost the lives of 7 children in our custody and care. Talking about African-American women duly elected by their constituents as somehow being less than American and telling them to go back to their own country. Or calling white supremacists and neo-Nazis and Klansmen very fine people. The signal that he is sending is being picked up by Americans who are willing to work on that hatred and racism. And Reverend Sharpton, we saw it brought home to us in El Paso on August 3rd when someone repeating the president's own words in his manifesto opened fire on people in El Paso, Texas, killing 22 of them in a Walmart on the Saturday before school started that next Monday. So this is the cost and consequence of Donald Trump.
All right. You clearly said it's 30.